Welcome to Fandomly Speaking,
where each week we speak randomly about fandoms. I'm Liza.
And I'm Melissa. And this week we are going to get very random about fandom.
It's super random this week.
Super random this week.
Yeah, and so there may probably not be too many spoilers. I don't think we're going to be going deep. Yeah, there might be. We never know what's coming out of our mouths before we say it.
We really don't know. Really don't know. And also warning, we are striving to stay unmasked, and we are way overstimulated.
Already this morning.
Already. Yeah. So, what'd you do this week, Liza?
Way more than usual, actually. Usually I'm like, not a whole lot. But this week I read A History of Wild Places, which I highly recommend. You know how when a book has a twist and sometimes you can figure it out? I didn't know what that book was. I didn't know what the twist was until they told me. Like, I was lost until it was good.
Oh, I love that.
I read Rogue Community College. I highly, highly recommend the White Trash Warlock series. If you guys have not read White Trash Warlock, that series is phenomenal. And this is kind of in that universe, part of the universe. So it was cute.
Oh my God, I'm getting all these recommendations.
Yes. Melissa and I both started Why We Love and Hate Twilight. So that has been eye-opening. So crazy.
It is.
Yeah. It is. And I stupidly started Parable of the Sower. I've never read this book. And oh my God. I went into this book totally blind. I don't know how I got my big old age and didn't know what Parable of the Sower was, but I am shocked when I started reading, and this really dystopian future is set in 2025, and I'm like, oh God, this is just great.
Like, oh, wonderful.
Right, fantastic. Yeah. And I finished all of Shudi's episodes in Doctor Who this week, so
you're ahead of me. Wow, yeah. You had a very geeky week.
Busy, geeky week.
My week was not as geeky. So the podcast that you are watching or listening to right now actually went live today.
Yes!
This is May 2nd. Excited. So on the one hand, everything just went up by 145%, right, in cost. Yeah. But our podcast is here and it's free.
Yay!
Yay! And we're very excited, and I only screwed up one thing, so I'm very proud of myself.
Yes, we're doing it.
We're doing it. It's so exciting. It is. And as Liza said, I started reading this because we found her online. Sarah Elizabeth Gallagher, funny as hell. Funny and really taking apart Twilight. And I think she made a great point that I want to make before I even tell you what I did this week.
Okay.
Because when I talk to you about what I did this week, I'm going to say things that might seem mean about Twilight. So I want to be clear. She makes it very clear in here, like, that if you love something, if you really, really love something, if you are really deep into a fandom, it is also totally okay for you to hate it and make fun of it.
Yes, right.
Because you're doing it from a place of love. Yeah. You're like, and I don't know how many times, just even in this podcast, when we've talked about different books or TV shows or movies or whatever, and we've both pointed out problematic things and then said, but I still love it.
Yes.
That's, I think, the reality of any fandom. So
it is.
It's really, really good. So let's see what I did this week. I finished yesterday. I finished the first Crescent City book. Is that one Earth and Blood?
Yeah. You finished? You didn't tell me you finished.
Oh my God. I thought I texted you. So spoilers. Lahaba.
But you didn't text me when she vacuumed up Micah. Come on, Melissa.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
That's like the best death scene ever.
Whole scene. That whole thing.
Were you on the edge of your seat? So much so.
I went for a walk. I didn't take my AirPods off until I was finished. I spent a good 3 hours yesterday just because once it starts to churn and get to the end, then you can't stop.
Yeah.
Yep. You can't. I was just...
So that scene where I said that I cried on the trail.
Yeah. Was that Hunk or Lahaba?
That was when she made the drop. And she heard Danica said, light it up, Brian. I mean, I was just crying. cried so hard. Light it up, Bryce. I was like, I can't handle it.
To cry, but more like yell. So I was, at that point, I was in the book, I was down here and I was just behind the camera there and I was diamond painting. And, you know, you're already at that point. You're just like, and in my head, I'm doing these two things. So we're talking about Crescent City all of a sudden.
Crescent City, yeah.
I'm going to stop in 1 second. I'm going to stop. But on the one hand, I was going, Hunt can't be dead. She won't do that. I think, I've been trying to record my reactions here and there for social media, you know, for Fandomly Speaking. And I was like, I think I recorded something that said, she will just kill anyone. She does not care. So I'm saying to myself, no, Hunt can't be dead. No, somehow Hunt's going to come back to life. She's going to save Hunt. Somebody's going to save Hunt. So that's what I'm thinking about. And then I realized immediately that was Danica. So now I'm yelling.
Yeah.
Not crying.
I got chills when you're just talking about it. Like, I still love that book.
I was yelling. And because through the whole book, I kept saying to myself, Danica can't be dead. She can't be dead.
She's dead.
She's definitely dead, most sincerely dead now.
But yeah.
But so if we had been in a movie theater opening night for like an Avengers movie, that would have been the moment, like in Endgame, when all of a sudden, you know, you hear, hey Cap, on your left. Yeah. And you realize that everybody has come back to save them, and then it's all like, because I did cry about that in the movie. That's how I felt when I heard Danica.
Well, that was on a reread that I was crying, so I don't think I did the first time either, but Lord, knowing it was coming, and it just gives me chills. Anyway.
So good. So anyway, I am so glad that I started the Crescent City series.
I'm glad you liked
I
it.
even have a t-shirt.
I know, I noticed. Like, holy cow, like, you're amazing.
Well, I was on Etsy, and, you know, and I started rereading Twilight, and I finished Twilight, the actual Twilight book, and now I started New Moon, and it hits so differently now. Yeah. And I think, you know, that's a good way for us to go from here into the conversation we're having today, which is just all about fandom. Yeah.
Yeah, so today we decided we were going to have a conversation instead of like a specific topic episode. So we're talking about how fandoms change for us as we age. So kind of our fandom through the ages, from teens to menopause.
We're going to get to some of your comments later.
Yeah.
Because we're very excited. We've loved your comments on our, you know, the trailer and the shorts and all that stuff. And a lot of people have said in their comments that they didn't realize that I was autistic, and then also talked about themselves being autistic, and also a lot of women who found out later in life, just like we're like, oh, that explains so much. But I remembered the first time that I realized there was something really different about me, like really different. Like, I always felt different, felt like an alien. You know, you have that feeling within your family, and I wasn't real good with friends. I was very little. I was somewhere between 8 and 10 years old, because I became a Kiss fan at some point in there, right before I turned 9. So I'm somewhere between 8 and 10 years old. I get introduced to the band Kiss, and they, of course, were nothing like anybody had ever seen before. And I became obsessed. Not that I was a big fan. No. This goes beyond that. This went to a place that I had not gone before in terms of the depth of my emotional connection to being a fan of this, being part of the Kiss Army, right? Kiss even said they were very good at the marketing. They had the Kiss Army. As soon as I could save up like $9, I think it was.
Which is so crazy.
I joined the Kiss Army, and I had my little card, right? Gene and Paul have always been really great at making money. Yeah. And for so long, being a Kiss fan became my personality. It became a type of armor for me. Because no one around me liked Kiss.
Oh, is that right?
No. Everybody was into disco at that time, or they were into more of like the more like Rush and music like that. So more just like, you know, rock music, but not necessarily Kiss. Yeah. Kiss was a joke to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Kiss was a joke to everyone around me.
That's so interesting.
I've made Kiss my entire personality, and they're a joke to everyone else. Who's the joke on now? That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Who is the joke on now?
So that's really interesting, because I was going to be like, well, at least yours was socially acceptable, so it's fascinating to hear that it wasn't.
It wasn't, and I made it so much worse. There was a store in town where you could get a T-shirt made. You know, you would pick out the lead, tell them what, and they would, And I actually had a black T-shirt made, and on the front it said "World's Greatest Kiss Fan."
I need to see it.
Oh no! Thank God it died.
No.
But hopefully in flames. I don't know where it is, but it died a long time ago. But here's the thing. This is the really awkward confession. As if this wasn't like you're like, wait, this gets worse.
No, it did. Like I understand it.
Did you ever give yourself a nickname?
I don't. What nickname did you give yourself?
Rebel.
Wow.
And I had it put on the back of my shirt.
Well, from now on, that's how you're going to be in my phone.
Rebel. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
From now
I
on.
wanted people to call me Rebel so bad.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Only did it as a mocking, horrible thing. And when I realized it, like, I didn't at first realize it. And you're like, how did you not realize that was so cringe and awkward and horrible? Well, first of all, I was about 10 or 11 years old at that point.
See? That's so cute, though.
I don't know why I didn't realize that was a terribly awkward thing to be doing and to have done. Wore that shirt with pride for a long time. But that was the first time I realized nobody else is into anything as much as I'm into this. I'm into this to the level that I'm letting people spit on me. I'm letting people hit me. That's how much people made fun of me liking Kiss. And there's a lot of Kiss fans with the same story of being shunned, being beat up, being spit on, but constantly being mocked. And my reaction to that, and I think this has been, I think fandom has continued to be an armor for me, was to just pile it on more. Black nail polish, you know, paint in my face when it wasn't Halloween, like the whole thing.
Were you ever able to go to a concert?
I have been to many concerts.
No, I mean back then when you were...
Back then, no.
Yeah,
we were not allowed to go to concerts because my grandmother used to tell us that strangers were going to inject us with heroin if we went to a rock concert.
I mean...
You know how that happens.
They also told us that there were needles in our Halloween candy back then, so, you know.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But wait for the best fan moment ever, okay? So I didn't get to see them in concert until I was in high school. But Kiss made a movie that I believe came out in 1978. It aired on Halloween. It was by far one of the worst movies ever made.
Amazing.
But, of course, there's a girl in the movie. We have to have a girl. We have to have sort of a love interest, even though she wasn't a love interest for any of them. And the girl's name was Melissa.
Perfect. Amazing.
I nearly freaking died because my name is never anywhere. You can't get a keychain with my friggin' name on it. You couldn't in the 70s. You can't now.
So funny.
It's not an obscure name. It's just not popular. And when Paul Stanley said the name Melissa, I nearly fell off the bed. That's my fandom story.
Rebel
so how old were you when you realized that you liked something way more than everybody else did?
I don't know, probably around 12 years old. And that's why I said I thought yours would have been like socially acceptable. Mine was not. I told you that I was really into musicals because my mom wanted to make sure that I never really fit in. She took me to see Phantom of the Opera when I was 12. And after that, I mean, I was in my room with the Andrew Lloyd Webber CD in the dark with the door closed just for hours, just listening to Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals. And I'm telling you, little girls in the South did not do that. That was not something that people were doing back then. Not where I was from. And so, no, I knew not to talk about it. That was a private thing.
I couldn't. It's just me and my musicals.
That was around the time New Kids on the Block got really popular. So all the girls were loving New Kids on the Block. So of course I put that mask on and I was like, okay, well, I love New Kids on the Block. And at home, I'm just like listening to the Phantom. and cats, at home.
Yeah.
And they're listening to whatever New Kids on the Block is. And so I knew that I did not like the stuff that they liked. I knew that I was very different in the stuff that I liked. And I still love musicals to this day. There's not a musical I don't like.
Oh, yeah. Musicals are great. Yeah. I don't know when I figured out how to mask. I think it was when I went to high school. I got much better at masking.
It was I'm surprised by that because I think my masking and the way I learned it came from my siblings. I mean, they would constantly be like, "You're weird. Like, don't do that." And so I learned really quick to put that on. And I mean, so I was masked up 24 hours a day unless I was in my room with the door closed.
I think I was masked to some level because there was a lot of pressure in my family for me to not behave like a weirdo. From everyone, just everyone. The why can't you be normal?
Yeah.
Came from every angle of my family. Yeah. And
well, I love that you were a rebel then and didn't do that.
I was just throwing that in my face, huh? No. Yeah, I was a rebel, man. And I think that was probably, oh God, don't get emotional right now. Okay. I think that was probably the last gasp of the real me trying to, it's like, I'm going to name myself rebel. I'm going to call myself out as being different and weird, and I'm going to own it. And that didn't work out. You know, that ended up, it got worse. It actually made things so much worse. And that's when I learned that I can't be myself. Yeah. I can't. And I was fortunate in a way. So I went to Catholic school for 12 years. So for all of elementary school, went, with this group of kids. When it was time to go to high school, I knew I was going to a Catholic high school. And I chose the one that no one from my class was going to. It was the furthest away, but it was also an excellent school. I mean, I got an absolutely amazing education, and it still exists now while all the other ones are closing. Wow. But I went to a place where no one knew me. Yeah. And that is when I started. I mean, I screwed up a lot in high school, believe me. I tripped over my mask. I put on the wrong masks. But that was when I really actively started trying to fit in.
That makes sense. It's so crazy that both of us chose something back then that wasn't exactly socially acceptable, because a lot of girls miss getting an autism diagnosis because the thing that they pinpoint on, the thing that they focus on is socially acceptable, like horses or something that other little girls also might like, so people don't notice. We were just out here weirdos. And everybody was like, well, I had no idea you were autistic.
Yeah, I just didn't. I mean, I think that's just the luck of the draw. I mean, it was good. I don't think we get to choose our special interests. I think they're like cats. I think they find us. So I don't think I had a choice. It was just, and like you didn't have a choice. You saw Phantom of the Opera and you were like,
that was it. I was done.
Transported. That feeling. Oh God, that. And I think we don't talk enough about autistic joy. And that's why I love fandom, because you get to express your autistic joy with other people without getting judged for it. I love it.
We are going to have a big conversation about that with me when we do the Doctor Who episode. It's going to be a strange convo, I think, differently than you think it will be, because my attitude towards Doctor Who is so different than most people's. For that reason, you just said.
Yeah.
So.
Oh God, now we're just like, all right. We have 2 weeks till the Doctor Who episode, I think. So characters that we understand better now that we're older. Giles and Buffy's mom, all the way.
Yeah, Giles was the first one probably I thought of, honestly. Yeah. I did watch Buffy now when I was a teenager. I'm about Sarah Michelle Gellar's age, I guess, right? She's about
I think so,
45 or so. So I did watch it. So Giles didn't even register for me back then. I was like, oh, who's that guy? I don't care.
Yeah.
Charlie from Twilight.
Yeah.
Like, he was just a plot obstacle back when I first read it. And I was an adult, but not a parent. And so I was like, let her be happy. Let her and Edward be happy. And now he's the only sane one in all of Forks.
I know. Everybody else is just going with this. And he's like, you guys do see that this is effed up, right?
Right.
Like, the whole thing is just great. And this is my daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to protect her. I realized something as I was going over these notes, it's not only like characters that I relate to better, like how I relate to them differently.
Yep.
Like the first, so Star Trek was, even before I have memories of Star Trek. Like,
oh, that's amazing.
And yeah, my stepfather was super into Star Trek, and he used to sit me on his lap every Saturday. And I loved Star Trek. And so Captain Kirk, right? I loved Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
And everybody used to tease me because they used to call him my boyfriend. And when
geez.
my mom and my stepfather had friends over, the friends would be so cute. And they'd be like, how's your captain? And I'd be all like, he's good. So he was probably my first crush, I guess.
Aww.
Which, of course, you crush hard when you got the dism. And, but my over the years, it's been so interesting because the character has... we've continued with the character, we've had the movies and we've had, and I've read all these books, and it's like, I see him so differently now. I don't see him as this swashbuckling, gorgeous, super confident guy who's Captain Kirk, I understand that underneath all of the bravado, the whole time he was scared.
Yeah, sure.
And I did not understand that until I got into my 50s.
Also, the way he's been played by different actors gives you a whole different feeling as well.
Chris Pine, I love Chris Pine as Captain Kirk. I mean, he was amazing. But, I realized that, hey, guess what? Everybody's scared. It's not just you.
Yeah.
And you have to do things anyway. And I think I kept waiting until I got into my 50s. I was like, at some point, I'm not going to be scared all the time.
Yes. Right.
So far, at the age of 57, I'm going to tell you, still scared.
Yeah, me too, girl. It's not working for me yet, but I still got that same goal.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. One of the characters that years ago when I first started, not first started watching Doctor Who, but when she was first introduced, was Kate Lethbridge Stewart. She was more just a side character. I didn't pay her any attention. Honestly, when people are introduced in Doctor Who, they may stay, they may not. You don't get attached to side characters in Doctor Who. No. Nowadays, I love Kate Lethbridge Stewart. She is such a badass, and I love her. And even though the Doctor is always credited with saving the world, Kate Lethbridge Stewart and UNIT save the Earth. Week after week, day after day, and half of the stuff that is God in the machine for Doctor Who is just because UNIT is there, and Kate is so capable in these recent episodes. She died, and I stood up, and I went, oh! I mean, this was like this week. I stood up and just gasped and was so upset. Yeah. I love her. She is amazing. So I didn't see her at all as being even worthy of much attention back when I first started. And now, this capable older woman playing such an amazing role in this big show. I love that so much. Yeah.
I think it's interesting that, looking back on companions, too, and like Martha annoyed the shit out of me.
Oh, I love Martha.
And now I love her. Martha.
Yeah, I love
Martha.
Martha.
Originally...
Really?
It was... I don't know why originally I was put off by her whole, that he had this other woman that he was in love with thing. And then, now when I rewatched those episodes, decades or so later, I went, yeah, well, he probably... I mean, he's not right since he was in love with Rose, and we know that, right? Like, yeah. And he's taking her around. It's almost like he's dating another girl while he's still hung up on the previous girl, and she knows it.
But Martha saved the whole world.
Yes. All the companions are the ones saving the world,
she saved the world. But what I constantly think about Martha is that Nine would have loved Martha. Yes. Doctor, he would have loved Martha. So we get hung up on 10 and Rose, and it's hard to see a new everything. But I think she was great. I loved it. I've seen Freema before at a con. I didn't get to meet her, but I saw her.
Oh, she's so good. She was so good on Law and Order UK. She's freaking amazing. She's an amazing actor. So
one of the things that I think changes so much as we get older is the tropes that we find hard to swallow now, like tropes that hit different. So are there tropes you used to like when you were a teenager and in your 20s that now you just can't deal with?
Well, the stalker boyfriend trope.
That's on my list as well.
And I think, did I say this to you last night in a text? I don't know. I don't know if we were if we were raised to see that behavior as attractive. I mean, you know, so like when a boy used to pick on you in schools, you know, your mother or your grandmother or aunt or somebody would always say, well, that means he likes you, right?
Yeah.
Why did we think that that was like, okay, if I found out that a guy that I was now romantically involved with had been watching me sleep or just...
And then we find out, if you're talking about Twilight, from Edward's perspective, that it was creepy from the start. It was so creepy from the very beginning. Yeah. And if you read, I don't know if you've read this, but I read all of the 50 Shades books. And if you read from his perspective book, there's also a book from his perspective. He also stalked her from the start so creepily, like stalking outside her building in a hoodie, like that. So creepy. Nothing was cute about that. And it was all like weird. So yeah, why did we find that cute? I don't know.
I don't know why we were taught to see that kind of devotion as devotion, not like a red flag behavior.
Yeah. I used to love the jealous boyfriend trope. Like he would burn the world for her. And now if I'm either reading or watching, the very first hint of jealousy, I get the biggest ick. I'm like, just gross. Because, I mean, I've been married for 22 years. If my husband was even showed a part of that, I'd be like, sir, are you serious right now? Nothing about that is cute or romantic. No. I hate it. So
yeah, I agree. That's another one that's another one of those things that used to be, well, if he's jealous, it means he loves you. The other trope that now that I'm older gives me the ick is I can't control myself when I'm around you. Whether it's about his emotions or his sexual desires, there's so many times in books, and movies, and TV, and everything where a man loses control of whether he punches a wall or he beats some guy up in a bar because he was looking at you, or he, you know, shakes you, or he yells at you, or something like that. It's not cute. It's dangerous.
Yeah,
and it's not sexy. You know what's gone that I'm really glad about? And every time I see it in like older media, I'm like, holy shit. And it hasn't been gone that long. The slap across the face. Now, for years in movies and TV shows, it's gone. People used to slap each other across the face like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. Somebody would say something on a soap opera and and then
telenovela.
Crack, right? And men slapping women, women slapping men. Just the slapping.
Lots of women slapping
face.
Women as well. Lots of
women slapping women. But yeah, I mean, it was a trickle down. They stopped letting men slap women on TV and movies. They were like, okay, that's not cool. But for a little while longer, it was still okay for a woman to slap a man if he said something that pissed her off. And I'm not talking like a guy who comes up to you on the street and is like, hey, nice boobs, and you slap him. No, I'm talking about like the man you're married to. He says something that really offends you or pisses you off, and you're like, crack.
That is such a good observation, Melissa. I have never noticed that. What
we don't do
interesting
it anymore.
Yeah, I've not. I'll have to pay attention. I've not noticed. How interesting.
Yeah, and when you watch older stuff.
Yeah,
it's
like
all
even
the time.
Like
the friggin' Love Boat. Bill and I went through during the lockdown. We found the Love Boat. I think it's on Hulu.
How weird! That's so funny. My brother also has been watching the Love Boat. Did that have a resurgence that I don't know about?
It must have.
So interesting.
Must have.
Or maybe they just put it on a streaming service and people found it again.
And everybody was like, "Oh man, I used to love the show." And it's so we watched like 2 full seasons.
That's so crazy.
So bad. But that show it's the Love Boat. It's the most simple thing in the world. The amount of times that somebody smacks somebody on the Love Boat.
Well, I think the whole thing that you said about I can't control myself around you. I think that so much of the old media like that was just excusing poor male behavior. Yeah. So much. The stalking and the jealousy and then that also. We're just excusing bad behavior from men all the time.
We now call it toxic masculinity.
Right.
But we didn't used to have a word for it. And we were raised to believe it was okay.
Yeah, it was enforced at every turn.
It's so weird. It's so weird. And to see it now, though, in modern literature and TV, it bugs me because we know better now.
Yeah.
And I still hear that line used so often. I'm sorry, I just can't control myself around you. Or when it comes to you, I can't think. Or when it comes to you, I can't. Like, oh yeah. I'm so special that I turn you into an evil animal. Good. That and it's like, I wonder, okay, so if we go from humans or animals, we're primates. Are females still at some, like, base of your brain way? Are we still attracted to that even though we know it's fucked up?
I don't know, because I will still I'll still read a book with that in there. I mean, like, I can recognize it now, but I'm still like, I'll still enjoy the entertainment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it in my own life. I wouldn't accept it in my daughter's life, but I will still consume that media.
Yeah.
That's some inner work I need to look at. I need to look inside.
I think that's something we all need to. I would love to see someday a book, a movie, TV show, something where the heroine is objectively not attractive in whatever way. And she thinks she's unattractive. And she has very low self-esteem. Because I am so sick of seeing or reading about girls who are objectively gorgeous and have no clue, but they are so hot that the hottest guy...
I got that for you.
Thank you. Help me.
I've read so much. I've read a bunch of books. Now, I don't know that I would recommend these for you. This is about to be the funniest segment. I'm so sorry. Okay, do you know how we were talking about, like, the cheese book and all that kind of stuff and how silly some of these get? Mm-hmm. Well, there was a set of books about 2 years ago now, maybe 2023, that got popular on TikTok because the covers were hilarious and the names of these books are ridiculous. And so everybody's reading them as a joke. Because
Get my pen.
Okay, the first one, and the series at large, is called Ice Planet Barbarians. Okay.
Ooh.
And if you look, all the covers are like, have blue dudes and stuff on them. So people are like, what is this crap? Making fun of it. If you read it, you go from the first book to book 60 within like a week. I mean, these are the best books. I'm not even making up. Now they are, I'm telling you, because we've had this conversation, they are incredibly spicy. Very spicy. I can skip
pages. I have the ability to skip pages and go ahead in Audible. I can do it.
The ice planet is a caveman type planet, so it's, spicy.
Yeah.
But these are the best stories. The author is Ruby Dixon, and she writes this whole series on this ice planet. It's women getting stolen by aliens, and they crash land on this ice planet. And, but each book is about a different woman, a different couple. They're very normal, plain Jane. Some of them, they're different weights, different races, different ages, and they all are very normal looking girls. There's only like one girl in the one woman, in the entire set they call her really pretty, but the rest are just plain old women with
just gonna have to read
cellulite and dimples and all this stuff. So good. You don't have to read it, Melissa. I don't know that you would like it.
To probably end up on the list is so huge. My wish list is like scary.
Now Ruby Dixon, her books are past 10 spicy. They're they're high scale spicy.
Okay,
but she is an amazing author to be able to write these silly concepts, and it's just so good. But those those women are very plain and normal women, just plucked off Earth by the aliens.
Good. All right. I'm glad to hear that. And they're having spicy times.
Very. With 7-foot tall alien men.
Ooh. Okay.
I read a lot of alien romance. I can't.
That's okay. That's okay. It's all good. Nobody's judging. Absolutely not judging.
Actually, at my big age, it wouldn't bother me. It doesn't bother me what people think of what I read. I don't care. I read all the stuff.
It's just when we first started talking, you're like, I've read all the romance. No, really, I've read you. And then you're like, you would be shocked at the things I have read. And I'm like,
I have read tons of alien romance. I have read tons of monster romance.
Yeah.
I have not read these. What are we calling those? Object romance? Is that what?
Yeah, I guess.
I haven't read any of those yet.
I mean,
somebody on TikTok read the cheese
men.
one. Oh, somebody on TikTok read the cheese one. They were like, it's actually really good.
I started it. And I got distracted. And it is funny. I mean, you know, the Roquefort is a French guy. I mean... And they're all, the way she describes them, they are all so friggin' hot. Yeah. So I may have to read the cheese book.
Hot cheese.
Hot cheese. I mean, hot cheese. It's Friday. Pizza. Like, I live for Friday night because I get to have the hot cheese.
Oh, don't tell me that. That's what my husband and daughter do, pizza Fridays as well, and I don't get to eat any of it.
Are you lactose intolerant?
I am gluten intolerant.
Oh.
Severely gluten intolerant. They make it, but it's not worth getting.
No,
so.
It's never the same. No, it really isn't. I don't know if this is a trope or just another thing that annoys me about pretty much all media that I love is people keeping secrets. Now I get that the story might not work without people keeping secrets, but these are people who are married, people who are in a military unit together, people who are cops working together, whatever they are, but they keep secrets from each other that because they keep the secret, things go really wrong.
That's also called the miscommunication trope, and I hate it. It's my least favorite trope of all, but I think I've always hated it. That's not a new thing. I can't stand it. If it's a miscommunication trope, I'll probably just put the book down. I hate that.
Yeah. As I get older, that one is just glaring.
Yeah, that happens a lot in YA books as well.
Yeah.
With the younger characters.
Yeah, yeah. Because, I mean, you know, they don't know how to communicate yet. They're learning how to communicate. And I just, you know, as an older person, I read these books that are targeted at, you know, that are young adult or teen or whatever. And I'm like... oh, why are we still teaching them like to behave like this in relationships with people? Like, why are we not teaching them that when you talk things out, even though it can be really hard, why aren't we demonstrating better communication skills?
Yeah. I mean, you could, if they're writing these for these young girls, they could write whatever they want. Why do we have to have them keeping secrets? And I don't know. So this kind of leads me into a question about when is like nostalgia not enough anymore? Do you know, like if you have like your favorite movies and you have nostalgia over that, or so maybe you used to love that trope. When is just the nostalgia just not enough anymore?
Not enough to carry you through anymore.
So I used to love, and I mean love, Brat Pack movies.
Okay,
I watched Brat Pack movies. I could, if you got me rolling, I could probably rip off the whole Breakfast Club right now. Like I could just go through the whole script. I loved it. But if you watch John Hughes movies now, oh, it's like a cringe per minute fest. It's awful. The racism, the blatant misogyny, there's rape jokes in there. It's horrible. And if you show it to a Gen Z, they're like, what is this? Like, why did you watch this? So I still love them in my memory, but I kind of have to leave them there because if you watch them now, it just does not.
There's so many bad. I mean, Bill and I, a few years back, decided to find Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh my God. Oh dear. Yes.
The whole movie is just so wrong.
Yeah.
So wrong in every, and I'm not talking about the way that people treated the nerds.
Non-consent.
That was bad. But yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
Homophobia. It's awful. The whole thing from start to finish.
There is nothing. I mean, it is so bad.
And
then you go back further and you watch Animal House.
Oh, yeah.
And Animal House has issues, but Animal House is not as offensive as Revenge of the Nerds.
It's not.
And I'm like, how is that possible?
Revenge of the Nerds hit right at this peak of 80s comedies, and they were all kind of like that. And that's when these Brat Pack movies were a thing. And I mean, it's even at the sweet ones like 16 Candles.
16 Candles is so bad. Racist and just, it's so bad. I thought we were a lot better than we were. Yeah. We were actually horrible in the 80s.
It really, really, really bad.
We were horrible.
I can still watch stuff with my memories. You know, like I can still be like, I did love this and it was fun, but I can now see all the glaring problems that it had.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. And sometimes you're able to like still enjoy it in spite of the glaring problems. And other times you're like, I can't. No, I'm never going to watch this again. That was, but Revenge of the Nerds was like, so we never need to watch that movie.
I think it happens to a lot of people though when they try to show it to their children, like, oh, I love this, and then the kids are sitting there like, Mom, what is this? Why did you watch this?
Part of the being a mom thing is that realizing that your kid looks back at the stuff that you loved, like, not just cringing, but like, do you not see the obvious flaws inherent in this? And you're like, well, I do now.
All right, but we didn't.
There used to be this dance that people who were usually men and women in old media, but people who were so okay, this is the girl, this is the guy, okay? And they're making out and stuff, and it's all really good. And then he starts trying to make her lay down. And then she's like, no. Or he's trying to put his hand up her shirt, and she's like, no.
Yeah.
And they keep doing it. And he keeps trying until
to wear
she gives
her
in.
down. Yeah, wear her down.
And that's how we were raised.
It was.
So
yeah, that's right.
it is so different now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that younger people seeing that repeatedly over and over and over again in movies and TV that we watched are like, what is wrong with you people?
Right.
Like, what? And I'm like, that's how it used to be. That's what making out was. It was a constant battle. Which is why
we loved all those tropes back then that are red flags now. It all comes full circle, Melissa.
It does. We were raised by the patriarchy. Mm-hmm. So we were supposed to, okay, you're supposed to resist. Well, that was kind of the two conversations going on is like, well, I can't give in because then I'm a slut.
Right. Yeah.
But I do want to give in, but I also don't want to give in. So I'm going to keep playing this stupid game for as long as I can. But I might lose one way or the other. I might lose.
That's right. Well, yeah, the woman's always going to lose.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah.
That's right. But that's also what you said, how being a mom then has changed how we view fandoms and how we associate with fandoms and the things that we love.
Yeah. And now you're more conscious of having those conversations or understanding that, okay, this media is going to hit really differently than...
Yeah. Or where you may have put yourself in the shoes of the spunky teenager. Now you're like, who's taking care of her?
Yeah.
Who's
Where are your parents?
Right. Yeah.
Spend totally a lot of time yelling at the TV, where are your parents?
Where are your
parents? Because I watch a lot of WB and CW shows that are all teenagers, and I'm always like, where the hell are your parents while you're fighting demons? What is going on?
Right. Well, if it's from back when we were kids, that pretty much was the consensus. Where were our parents? I don't know. I asked my mother that all the time. I'm like, where were you? What were you doing? Why was I out all the time?
They used to air a public service announcement at 10 p.m.
Yes,
that
they did.
Said, it's 10 p.m.
Do you know where your kids
children are?
Most of the time they did not.
And it's like, why do you suppose that they actually had to make a public service announcement? Because parents around America went, I'm pretty sure they're in their room, right? Are they in their room?
It's because feral Gen X kids were just out causing
climbing out windows, sneaking out back doors. They had no idea. And they didn't want to know.
Yeah. And I actually didn't know that this was a problem at all. And I had one of like the permissive parents that my friends all thought were great. And then I didn't know this was a problem until I had a child. And I'm like, where were you? Why was I allowed to be doing anything that I was allowed to do? And we don't know. Why not?
I don't know. Yeah. You seemed responsible.
So that's how I do when I watch the old shows. I'm like, where is this kid's mom?
Yeah. At least Buffy did a really good job of explaining how that came to be for all of them. Mm-hmm. Buffy's mom was a single mom. Willow's parents were just completely checked out.
Yeah.
Xander's parents were a shit show. Yeah. Cordelia's dad, I don't know much about her mom, but we know her dad loses all of their money, right? So he probably... the things at home weren't good for Cordelia. So we kind of had an explanation for how all of these kids were just always out at night and no one cared because no one had time to care or they had their own problems.
Right.
And luckily they had Giles.
That's exactly. Taking care of everybody. That's right.
Thank God she got a watcher who was a good person.
Good person. Mm-hmm.
Because some of those watchers were not good people.
That's right. Being a mom also changed how I watched things. I gave myself permission as an adult to get really into children's media. And the kids' media fandoms are so much fun. And I think that so many people who don't have kids don't allow themselves to get into these fandoms. Yeah. And they're missing out on so much. You know, we've talked about some of this stuff. We've talked about My Little Pony and Gravity Falls. And I would find myself watching Teen Titans Go when she was not in the room. Like, she had not been there. This episode is done, and I'm starting another episode, and I am cackling.
I forgot about Teen Titans Go. Yeah,
I watched
that one
so much of that show. Well, my daughter was
Girls.
Powerpuff
I loved
Girls.
Powerpuff Girls.
Right.
Loved Adventure Time.
Yeah.
I loved My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
Yeah.
I was very invested in the whole situation going on there.
And Equestria Girls, boy, we got all into that. I mean, I just really allowed myself to be part, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much lower stakes than the adult media is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And it's although Adventure Time really that was ramps up, but you know, but I don't know that that's. I think that show grew up with its audience.
Oh, also, it just made me think when we said that Charlie and Twilight. You know who was going through it that I relate to now? The dad in Dirty Dancing. Oh my God. Yes. I watched that movie so much, and he was the worst. And now I'm like, he was right about everything. Put that child in a corner and make her stay there, and she's grounded.
She should not have been doing it. When she comes to him after the girl has a botched back alley abortion,
and the dad thinks Johnny did it.
Yes,
like he thinks it's Johnny's kid, and now your kid is going on. No, ma'am. Sit down.
Oh my God. I mean, and the absolute betrayal of trust that he's like, this is what you did with my money.
Yeah.
Like, you lied to me. It's not even that it's this.
Yeah.
Right? I think, and that's kind of cool because I feel like it makes it very clear to me in the movie that he's not opposed to the fact that this young woman had an abortion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's opposed to the fact that it was done in such a dangerous, disgusting back alley way that she's sick now because of it, and that his daughter lied to him.
Yeah.
That's where he is in that moment. Yes. I feel
and that
him
man
so
is a
much
grown
now.
Man. Johnny is a grown adult, and she is still a teenager. She's a teenager there for her summer vacation.
He should have never. Johnny is sleeping with women her father's age and older.
Yeah.
And doing it for money. Let's all be clear.
All the time. Yes.
He's a gigolo.
He is.
He's a fucking gigolo. And you find out your daughter's been hanging around with him. Yeah, I'm putting baby in the fucking corner.
That's exactly right.
Baby needs a timeout.
She does. And she needed to be taken away. They needed to go home.
She is so lucky. She is so lucky. So lucky on so many levels. No, I mean,
I used to watch it, and God, I loved that movie. That was another one I watched over and over. But now I'm like, I guess she was lucky. She most likely will have trauma from that as she's older. She'll get to be older and like, what was I doing?
I cannot believe I did all of that.
Yeah.
God. Wow. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Oh, yeah. I do. That
just came to me when we were talking about Charlie.
Ooh, that is a very good one. And then. You know, like finding that relationship romantic back then. But then you watch the movie, and once you get lost in the movie, you're in love with Johnny and Baby.
But that's my problem with musicals. If there's music in it, I'm gonna like it. I'm a sucker.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever watched Jenny Nicholson's video about The Greatest Showman?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Now Jenny is Jenny is a brilliant artist. I think that she didn't maybe start the video essay, but damn, she is one of the best people at it because she's so funny. And I have to say, I love The Greatest Showman. Mm-hmm. I've listened to the soundtrack all the time when I'm driving around the car. I sing along with it. I watch the movies a million times. The age gap thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, that's another one where it's like, I mean, because Hugh Jackman was already in his 40s when he made The Greatest Showman, maybe his late 30s.
Oh, I thought he was older than that. I
don't know. He was older, and he comes to get, you know, we're just supposed to suspend our disbelief about the age discrepancy between him and the woman that he takes to be his wife. But you know, we were constantly being presented with these these ships of the older guy, younger girl as being the model for the perfect relationship. Like, that was what it was supposed to be. You were supposed to be with a man 10 years older than you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it allowed a lot of girls, including me, to be taken advantage of. I mean, it's still happening today, but it allowed, and that is why I say that baby probably, as she gets older, be like, what was I doing? Because that's how I feel. Like, what the hell was I doing? That's why I'm like, where was my mother? Why was I allowed in this situation? What was I doing? Because at her age, I also had much, much older men preying on me at that time. Oh. And it's the same, you know, the media, I was like, yeah, this is totally normal. This is what I should be wanting. This is romantic. Yeah. This makes sense. It made no sense. Yeah. Disgusting. How are your headcanons and your shipping different now than when you were younger?
Ships that have changed for me, I think Buffy and Angel seemed like a really good thing to me at the time, but now when I watch it, it's that from that perspective that we both have been talking about so much of like, age gap. Man, there's a big age gap here. Even if he was, you know, he looks like a 25-year-old man. Okay, even if he was only a 25-year-old man, she's a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, I think when that show started, was it she's 16?
Yeah.
There's an age gap. There's a lot of gaslighting going on there.
Oh my God, so much. And,
yeah. When I was younger, my autism would not allow me to accept ships or headcanons. We didn't call it that back then. Yeah. Back in the old days. Yeah. But if it was not explicitly spelled out on page or on that screen, I was like, well, actually, that's not what was going on. Like, I was such a stickler for that, the way that it was, the trivia. I could tell you everything about my favorite stuff. And if it wasn't spelled out, I did not accept that could possibly be. Now, I'm like, give me all the headcanons. Do you think Prim lived and is with Gale? Do you,
I had not thought about that.
I want to hear the most unhinged fan theories. I want to hear them all. I don't have to agree with them, but I want to hear all of it. Because what we've seen is that even fan theories, authors and script writers will sometimes take that into account and make non-canon things canon. Like, that's how we got Destiel by the end. Like, I know. You know, they listen.
They
give it to us
as much Destiel as they could.
So I want to hear the most unhinged fan theories you got. But that's changed so much just as I've gotten older. I didn't used to accept any kind of theories. No way. I wanted it to be.
I always was interested in kind of alternative interpretations of things. But that might be because I was so into literature. Like, I was a lit major. So, you know, I was...
And you said you wrote some fan fiction sometimes, right?
Oh, God. Yes. I wrote so much. We didn't call it fan fiction. When my mom sold the house we grew up in, she got a dumpster and had everything in the attic dumped into the dumpster without telling us. Oh. So all my dolls, all my journals and notebooks and stuff that I had hidden up, everything was gone. All of my fan fictions, gone.
Yeah.
I was like devastated because I really want to read the story I wrote about Duran Duran and Kiss.
I want to read it too.
Going to another planet and meeting people who are part horse. But they also have marsupial sacks.
This is where you came up with.
I have a thing for marsupials. Not the way that sounded. No, that sounded so wrong. It is not a kink that I have. I want to be clear. I am not.
I feel like only our Patreon. Only our Patreon people can fully appreciate why that's so funny. Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah.
I need to read this. If you're in the Patreon,
you'll understand my. I've mentioned marsupial pouches before. In a sexual way.
Wow.
So anyway. Yeah,
that's so funny.
I don't know why the horses had marsupial pouches. I guess
so funny.
That must
the
have been
two
when I
different
first
sides of like the way autism works, and you were so like your creativity was real big, and I was more like it's got to be exactly like this because that's what it said. So
yeah, so my imagination is a dangerous place. It can go.
That's awesome.
It can go.
Since we were talking about like bad ships, and we were talking about Angel and Buffy, I want to shotgun like the things we thought like were romantic, but now like they need restraining orders. Like, okay, so Angel and Buffy, obviously,
Angel and Buffy.
like Edward and Bella, just straight
also
to jail.
Spike and Buffy.
Yes, right to jail. So, the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, that's literal prisoner romance.
Yes, it's a story of Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, right. Who's next? I'm looking at
my gosh.
There's so many.
There's so many. Wait. I have to go back to the romantic things that I used to consume in my youth.
Gale and Katniss? No. Gale and we've already talked about Gale and Katniss.
Yeah, we've already talked about Gale and Katniss. Yeah, Gale and Katniss, no.
Tamlin and Farrah.
Yeah, Tamlin and Farrah. I think everybody kind of agrees.
Who else? Who's next?
You put me on the spot here. I have to think about all of the thousands of books and TV shows and shit I've read in my life that I love. Oh, Blair and Chuck from Gossip Girl.
Oh yeah,
I love Chuck Bass. Okay, and there's the part of Melissa
that's a big one.
that loves Blair and Chuck. Okay, there's a part of her, and then there's the part with the functioning brain that is like he's a bad person.
Yeah.
He's just a bad person. He does
from the
not
start, right? Like from the start,
himself.
it was bad, right?
Yeah, I mean, and they tried to, as people started to like him as a character, they tried to, and by the last season, they really tried to sort of humanize him, but then make him do something completely terrible anyway, because he's Chuck Bass and he can't help himself. And he does something wrong, and people are like, why would you do that? I'm Chuck Bass.
Yeah, okay.
And we love the way he says it, and we love the swagger and everything, but he's been telling everybody the whole time, I am a bad human being. I'm a bad seed. I'm a bad seed! And at the end, we're surprised. We're surprised that he does what he does with Jenny.
You know who else was a bad person?
Who?
Snape from Harry Potter. Snape is like #1 incel. He's horrible and abuses children because he got turned down by a girl he had no like entitlement to, and is abusive and horrible through the whole. I'm like, there's no redemption for him. I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't know why
people are like, oh, you know, he has a redemption arc. I'm like, I don't call that a redemption arc.
Nope, me neither.
Nope. No.
Ross and Rachel. Ross was the worst. The absolute worst.
Also, Rachel, not a prize either.
No. The worst two people.
Yeah, and I don't, and I never bought the whole Chandler and Monica thing. I mean, they tried really hard to make us, I was never shipping Chandler and Monica, but I was shipping Joey and Rachel.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people did as well. That made more sense than all the rest of them. But no, horrible Ross and Rachel.
Yeah, no,
Kylo Ren.
Oh,
I still love Kylo. I have a problem. That's a problem. That's a me problem.
I still love it.
I'm working on it. I still love Raylo, even though that's a big problem. Holding people hostage and invading their minds. That's an issue. Throwback. What about Sandy and Danny from Grease? The whole I gotta change my whole personality to be with you. The worst.
And that's how the movie ends, right?
Yes,
and I was 9 years old when that movie came out. We went to see it that summer. I actually saw it twice because I kind of snowed my dad and my stepmother into thinking I hadn't seen the movie, so I got to see it again. That's what I was being taught.
Yeah.
I was being taught that if I want the guy to like me,
you gotta change everything about yourself.
I have to literally change everything about myself and become super sexy.
Yeah.
And since that was never going to happen for me, I was like, well, I'm spending my life alone. But I love this movie so much because it's a musical.
Yeah, it's a musical. Right? It covers a world of sins.
It does. I listen to that Grease soundtrack so much. Every song, even the songs that aren't actually in the movie.
So much. Which also, we shouldn't have been allowed to listen to any of that stuff as kids. Those songs are raunchy. Raunchy
AF! Oh my god! The whole movie is so raunchy.
We were singing it at the top of our lungs. I didn't know what any of that meant, but
I knew what Fangul meant, so I wasn't allowed to yell it because I'm Italian. I grew up like if I said Fangul,
I'm from the South. I didn't know what that meant.
So you guys were all like Fangul,
exactly,
and I'm over there like Fangul. Like, okay, never say that again. Sorry, forgot where I was. Oh my god. Wow. That's an old one.
I've got an older one. Mr. Rochester and Jane Eyre.
Oh.
Dude had his wife in the attic.
Yeah.
And he was old and had his crazy wife in the attic, and she still got married to that man and had babies.
That was really weird. And people loved that book.
Yes! That is some people's favorite romance book. Like, what the heck?
No. Well, in general,
all the red
like,
flags.
A lot of the Wuthering Heights is...
Oh, God, he digs her corpse up, right?
There is just all of those books that were classics that I had to read for my lit major the whole time. You're just like, this is some fucked up shit. Why is this a classic? Like, even, you know, going to school in the late 80s, I knew that Jane Eyre was a fucked up story.
Yes. But those were all the red flags we were just supposed to accept that.
No. Gosh, I'm having a hard time thinking of ships. Like, I'm having like a ship blockage, and I know there's other ones.
We came up with so many, though. That was good.
You came up with a lot. I didn't really come up with a lot. And then I watched so many different shows. It's sometimes I think part of my problem is I watch and consume media at this point literally 24 hours a day because I can't sleep anymore without having an audiobook playing into my headphones all night.
Yeah.
So I can't, and you're like, well, that's probably not healthy. You should probably try to sit in silence outside.
I'm not going to tell you that.
First of all,
you're not going to hear that from
where
me.
I live, no silence. So if I don't keep part of my brain occupied, my brain will go places. Yeah. And it might take me with it.
Yeah.
So I might not get anything done.
That's why I do like 200 books a year, because I always have one in my ear at all times, because I use it to
much anxiety.
Dissociate. I use it to dissociate. That's why I read for dissociation. That's why when I read stuff like Parable of the Sower, I'm like, what am I doing? This is not good dissociation. It's hard.
Thank you for putting it that way and not making it sound like we're doing something wrong, because I don't know if we are or not, but that's what
that's how I have to do it.
I want to take a moment here on Fandomly Speaking to remove the stigma from the word dissociation, because like sometimes we do it. It's a protection mechanism from trauma, childhood trauma, adult trauma. I get what dissociation is and why it does have negative connotations. But I don't know if this is just for autistic people, but I know that this is for me. I have to do it or I will lose it.
Yeah.
I need to go somewhere. I have the most, I said before, I have the most vivid imagination. I got through the hell that was grammar school by leaving my body for large parts of the day and going into a fantasy world or maybe a movie that I liked or hanging out with the guys from Kiss on tour. I could leave the reality I was in and I have like a standby mode running. There's just like a little standby mode, and the rest of me is gone.
Yeah.
And it's healing. My brain is okay when I do that. And then I come back and I'm refreshed. If I don't get a chance to leave my body for a while, I'm not okay.
I'm not okay either. I think a lot of people, we tend to kind of make jokes like, oh, I have 100 tabs open. But we're not kidding. We're not actually joking. And my husband, he has a different kind of neurodivergence. He is ADHD like way worse than I am. But so he doesn't understand what I'm talking about when I say it is constant. There's 10, 15, 20 things competing at all times, and none of them are winning. They're all screaming all the time. And so when I have like an audiobook in or something, it's quiet and I can just listen to that and follow that narrative for a while. I'm not like avoiding my responsibilities or anything, but it is just quieting down that whole brain.
It helps me to function, issues. And I enjoy it. Yeah, my husband's got very similar neurodivergence to your husband. He gets he gets stuck in deep focus mode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But he can also sit, like sometimes I'll be reading at night and he'll come downstairs and we have two recliners. We're not snuggling on the couch. We're just not. It's not. We're very comfortable with our recliners and our little table between us, and we look at each other. But like if I'm reading, sometimes he'll just come downstairs, sit in his recliner, and look out the window. He can sit on an airplane for 6 hours. Now, they were talking about raw dogging airplane rides.
Who was talking about that?
This was a trend at the end of last year, was raw dogging the airplane ride.
How did I miss that one? I'm chronically online. I know. I understand it.
sitting on an airplane and just you're not watching anything, you're not reading anything, you're not listening to anything. And I'm like, they would have to carry me off the plane.
Me too.
I would lose my mind. I'm on an airplane. I've got music blasting into my ears and a book to read. Sometimes I have the screen going too, depending on how anxious I am. Because the more of that I have going on, the more I can drown out the severe discomfort that is air travel.
People are fascinating. I didn't know there was people doing that.
My brain never stops. And you're right. It is competing conversations. I've got TV shows, a book that I read 10 years ago, all of the things that I need to keep track of. I don't have control over what's going on in there.
Yeah, me neither.
And they're all talking. And people are, have you heard this thing about people who don't have an internal monologue?
Yep. I have.
I have multiple narrators, for God's sake.
All at once. Yeah, me too. Same.
Somebody's narrating in my head right now, and I'm doing this podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Making commentary somewhere in the back of my head about what I'm doing right now. Yeah. That's insane. But that's
it makes you feel insane a lot of times. Yeah.
It does. It does. So yeah, consuming all the media all the time. As much media as possible. Wow. Yep.
You're funny to me, though, because you and I are different in that you can do multiple at once. Like, you can read a physical book and do the audiobook. I can't do that. I need to, like, do all at once, like, in a straight line.
Yeah. No, I can read. I can also read multiple books, like, not exactly at the same time, but I can flip back. I think maybe that's just from educational training. I mean, there was no option as a lit major to only read one book at a time. I mean, it was just like...
That's more for me being like a stickler to the rules. Like, if I need to watch something, I can't go back and pick episodes. I have to watch from the beginning.
Oh, that I have to do. Yeah. Now that you can binge, I won't start a show in the middle. Like, if somebody tells you, like, a lot of my friends are older than me or younger than me. But the older ones will say, like, oh, they're watching a show, and I'll be like, oh, I'll have to start that. And they're like, oh, no, you can just jump in now. It's on channel 2 or whatever. And I'm like, I cannot jump in the middle of a series.
Right.
No, I need to, no. And that's changed massively. Like, we had that conversation last week with Marissa. We did the interview with Marissa Silva. And when she explained how millennials... like how they were why fandoms have gotten so huge, and that millennials were the first generation that could consume media on demand, and how that changed everything and consume it over and over again. I remember the dark days before we could do that.
Me too.
We had to read the books over and over and over again.
I remember in college, I had a one of those big, like, I say big, it was actually a small, like, square TV that had the VHS thing in the bottom, but I didn't have cable or satellite or anything, so the only thing I could do was watch VHS just over and over again. So I had, like, my little stack, and I just watched the same stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah. We got cable when I was a freshman in high school. We were late to get cable because it was expensive. And so that was amazing because I could watch, like, a movie. Yeah. Like, that's when I fell in love with Escape from New York.
Oh, yeah.
The movie, and that became a huge part of my personality and it's the reason Bill and I are married, because we were, okay, so maybe it's not the reason that we're married, but for a long time, and probably still to this day, if you were to ask me out of the blue, Melissa, what's your favorite movie? My first answer will be Escape from New York.
Oh,
because awesome. It is so bad it has looped around to being good, and just it was such a formative thing for me. Like, I know all of the dialogue, like I know everything about this movie, and when I first started dating my husband and we were going somewhere, and he actually asked me, what is your favorite movie? And my mouth said, okay, well, it's kind of silly, but it's Escape from New York. And he nearly drove off the road because it's his favorite movie.
Aww.
And I was like, wait, what? And then he told me, he's like, I used to go to this place and play laser tag, and my call sign was Pliskin. Hey. And I went, no, this is it. This is even weird.
He's the
you
one.
Ready, guys, for the weird love story? I, too, went to Photon and played laser tag and competed against Pliskin. Bill and I had competed against each other in laser tag years. No, I'm talking over a decade before.
That's a movie. Somebody's written that before. That's amazing. That's crazy.
It was really, 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 really cool. And we still watch it all the time. We love it.
Yeah.
Such a silly movie. My love of Excalibur is what started my deep dive into any literature that takes place in the Middle Ages and involves, well, Arthurian legend, obviously. So I was big into Arthurian legend and stuff. So when I was in college, then it was like Renaissance festivals and witchcraft and wizards and all that stuff. So that was like my whole personality for a while. And that came out of watching Excalibur on cable.
Okay.
And just being like, oh, and watching it as many times as it was on. You know, I'd be like,
What
oh,
was
it's
it
going to
on
be on
back
at
then?
1 a.m.
Yeah, what was it on back then?
HBO.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. We had HBO, which I
I did not know that
watching.
movie existed. Like when it was in the movies, and then it was on HBO, and I was like, "Oh, Arthurian legend, you know, it's the retelling of okay, I love King Arthur." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Now I really love King."
It's my whole personality.
My whole personality is now. Hello, my name is Guinevere.
That's right. I'm looking at people looking at our first episodes for the first time.
Yeah.
And somebody says, I feel like I'm watching you guys on the phone call and you don't realize you're being recorded.
Yes, I see that as well. Yeah, wait, let me see. Am I able to...
That's exactly right.
Let's see.
They're having a big conversation over on TikTok. Why are they having that conversation, Melissa?
Because
you started a whole thing.
People are a little surprised that Mommy, the lady who opens toys on YouTube, was excited about the hot naked cheesemen.
Yeah, and then Melissa threw everything into chaos over on TikTok because she compared Nesta going to the House of Wind into conversion camp, and everybody was like, let me tell you what I think about that. So we got a long conversation going on.
We have a very long conversation about that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So some people agree, some people disagree, and I think that's awesome. I want to hear if you disagree with us. We don't want you just to agree with everything we say.
I do see where you know... I get my criticism of that. Conversion therapy was maybe not the best analogy, but it felt the reason why I said that was it felt that it was so against her wishes.
Well, you have a lot of people who are reading these books the same way you and I talked about reading things when we were in our 20s. They're not wanting to see those red flags, and that's okay. They will eventually grow up as well and come to their own conclusions or not, and which is also fine. But we did, after a while, we have a lot of different comments. Somebody said, yes, the troubled teen industry indoctrination wilderness camp, it was almost textbook example of stories from survivors. And that's right. I actually have someone in my family who was sent to one of those places at 13 years old, and the stories are absolutely horrific. Just horrific. And so, there's a lot who agree with you. A lot of people agree with you on here.
I mean, it's enforced. It's not like they didn't have an intervention.
Right.
And then say, we really think that you need to go do this. We'll take you. We want to support you. You'll get the help you need. But because even in an intervention, and I've been in interventions, the person can say no.
Right.
And it's so brutal. Now, if they're a minor, they really don't get to say no. Parents usually send them to rehab anyway. But adults can say no. I'm not
and someone
going to rehab.
made the important point that if she was sick enough to involuntarily commit her, then she was too sick to be sent out on life-threatening missions. Yeah. And she was not... shouldn't have been allowed to have sex with the staff, so to speak. You know,
well,
right?
Yeah. There's a lot of
like people are making good points over there on all sides.
They're making very good points. She I don't know. I'm always going to have problems with what they did to Nesta, but also I love Reese and Feyre. I just don't love who they become in that last book. We had a nice long talk about that.
Long talk.
And I love Cassian and Nesta together. I do. I even love the story, but the fact that she was forced there and the way she's treated, and even sometimes the way he treats her, I'm not a big fan of tough love. Yeah. And so I'm not convinced tough love always works. I think it works sometimes, but I think most of the time it causes more trauma in the long run.
Well, it works might be the wrong way to put it. It maybe gets a result.
Gets the desired result of the person
right.
pushing it.
Whether or not it works can be debated.
So we're loving the comments. And we hope to get more and more. But we've been a little nervous this week.
We've been real nervous. So nervous.
Because we're afraid you won't like us when you see us
unmasked and overstimulated.
Yep. Yeah. So we thank you for watching new episodes every Friday, correct?
Yep. We want you to follow us on all of our socials. We're on TikTok and Instagram. And are we on Facebook right now?
No, we are not on Facebook.
Not on Facebook. TikTok and Instagram for sure. We are on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So please go follow us in all the places and join our conversation. We want to hear from everybody.
Yeah.
Also, Patreon. Melissa knows a lot more about the Patreon.
Really, I don't. But we're going to try to make Patreon an interesting and fun experience for everybody. We have a game that we played. So like some games that we play, we're going to put on there, and some footage that doesn't get seen by the general public. And there'll be polls, and there's a community there where we can all we can chat together, which I really like. So check that out. And until next Friday,
stay unmasked and overstimulated.
Yeah. It's awesome. A good way to be. Yay! Thank you for watching.
Bye, guys.